So, Billy, do you have the same perception?
Yeah, no, not really. Because you see, for me, truly speaking, I love the topic. Unfortunately, it's not what is happening in Africa today. In Africa, we are not talking about what you are calling of brain drain or brain gain. Whenever we talk of brain gain or brain drain in Africa, we are talking about people who get like bursaries or who happen to study as diaspora, studying in Europe or the US or Canada, and you will not see these people coming back to Africa. But when we are talking about people leaving Africa and going to Europe, it's not really people who even finish their education. We are talking of young people. I'll give an example of Burundi today. It's not parents, mothers and the fathers who are leaving Burundi going abroad. No, at all. We are talking about young children who are just finishing their metric or secondary studies and they're wishing to say, no, I have to go. So you can't tell me that this is what we call brain circulation. It is not brain circulation. Brain circulation, if it does exist, we don't see that circulating to Africa from the US or to Africa from Europe. We don't see that circulating. We only see Africans going to Europe, Africans going to Canada, Africans going to US. So does that really mean that the US need African brains? I doubt not. I doubt not. But rather, the US or the Europeans, they will take the brain which is in Europe and they will say, this one we've trained it and it has proven itself to be excellent. So we can't let it go back to Africa. Let's keep this brain with us. This is what I'm talking about. But if it was an issue of brain, whatever, so me, I would see that through an orderly, what I'm talking about, it's this orderly entity of knowledge transfer between the countries and stuff. But in Africa, if you are seeing all these problems that we are having today, even in Europe, saying no stop to Africans. If you see people who are dying in the ocean everywhere, so it's not people who are highly qualified going to Europe or going to US, but people who are not informed, people who are under these pressure groups, people who are just going for the sake of going because they heard that someone also went there or came back and he bought a car, bought a house, and me also, I have to go and they do that.
Yeah, sure.
You saw what I'm talking about. So I do agree with his point. Really, when it comes to brain circulation, but it only worries me when I don't see that brain circulation circulating in our continent of Africa, but circulating on the other side. But I can try to answer that. I can see you are still very, very young and a very prominent potential. Yes, I want you to understand that Europeans did not have to run to Africa for them to develop themselves. No. They didn't need to go to the US for them to develop themselves. The US did not need to go to Canada for them to develop themselves. They had to fight for their country. And that country was, as you see Burundi, it is today. You can go and research in the pictures, but they have to suffer for it.
But I think that's the education we need. I mean,
that's what I'm telling you. That's why I told you that people are misinformed. And I even told you that people who are leaving the country today, Burundi, it's not even those brain drain. It's just these people who are going for economic migration because things are tough in the country, or others, they have this plan B that if I fail here, then I'll go to. So that plan B is what is killing Africa today. Any small failure, you say I will. No, unfortunately that doesn't work, and this will always keep Burundi and Africa as a whole backward. Because the dollars you are talking about, the dollars that come back to Africa. How much is the dollars that come back to Africa if you compare the diaspora that we have out of the country? It's a huge number of people. If you compare with the money that come back to Africa, it's nothing at all.